Detective Elias Thorne knelt, the metallic tang of rain and something far more sinister filling the air. The crime scene was a macabre tableau under the sputtering gaslights, but it was the small, almost insignificant detail that caught his eye. Scratched into the cobblestones, nearly washed away by the downpour, was a symbol, a stylized spiral with a single dot in its center. The mark of the Phantom. It was a taunt, a breadcrumb left just for him. Thorne's gaze lifted, scanning the labyrinthine streets. He knew this city like the back of his hand, every shadowed corner, every hidden passage. The symbol wasn't just a signature. It was a direction. It pointed toward the old Weaver's District, a maze of narrow, rain-slicked alleyways. He pulled the collar of his trench coat tighter and set off, the city's pulse thrumming beneath his feet. The alley was a canyon of brick and mortar, water cascading from overflowing gutters. And there, at the far end, silhouetted for a fleeting moment against the neon glow of a noodle shop, was a figure. Tall, slender, cloaked in shadow. The figure turned, a flash of silver, a mask catching the light before they melted back into the darkness. The chase was on. Thorne sprinted, his boots splashing through puddles that reflected the city's vibrant, chaotic energy. The figure, the Phantom, moved with an unnatural grace, vaulting over a fruit cart and disappearing into the throng of the evening market. This wasn't just a physical pursuit. It was a battle of wits played out on the grand stage of the city. The marketplace was a sensory overload, the aroma of spiced meats, the chatter of 100 conversations, the vibrant colors of silks and lanterns. Thorne pushed through the crowd, his eyes darting, searching. He spotted a flash of the same dark cloak near a fishmonger's stall, but as he closed in, the figure turned, revealing the weathered face of an old woman haggling over prices. A decoy. Clever. A ripple of movement to his left drew his attention. A wealthy merchant, resplendent in fine clothes, was hastily boarding a steam-powered tram, his face obscured by a wide-brimmed hat. The height, the posture, it was him. Thorne leaped onto the moving tram just as the doors hissed shut, his heart hammering against his ribs. The merchant looked up, and for a second, Thorne saw the glint of the silver mask beneath the hat's shadow. The Phantom offered a mock salute before deftly slipping through a window on the opposite side of the carriage, landing on the roof of a passing delivery truck. The chase escalated, a vertical ballet across the Ghibli-esque cityscape. Thorne followed, his breath ragged, climbing onto the tram's roof. The wind whipped at him, carrying the sounds of the metropolis below. The Phantom was a ghost, flowing over rooftops and across precarious clotheslines strung between buildings. They were heading towards the city's heart, towards the Grand Centurion Clock Tower, its colossal face a moon in the misty sky. Thorne knew this was the endgame. He pursued relentlessly, his mind racing, trying to anticipate the next move. The Phantom was always one step ahead, using the city's architecture as their personal playground. They scaled the ornate stonework of the clock tower, moving like a spider up the ancient edifice. Thorne was right behind, his fingers finding purchase on gargoyles and ledges, the sheer drop below a dizzying thought he couldn't afford to entertain. The air grew thick with the smell of hot oil and steam as he climbed higher, the rhythmic, deafening tick-tock of the tower's mechanism vibrating through the stone. Finally, he pulled himself onto the platform that circled the clock's face, landing just as a massive gear shuddered into motion beside him. Steam hissed from pipes, obscuring his vision. And there, standing on the giant minute hand as it ticked inexorably forward, was the Phantom, cornered. The city lights spread out beneath them like a carpet of fallen stars. "It's over," Thorne yelled over the grinding of the gears. "There's nowhere left to run." The Phantom turned, their body language not of defeat, but of amusement. They tilted their head, the silver mask seeming to smile in the gloom. The massive bell above them began to chime the hour, the deep, resonant tones shaking the very structure of the tower. With a final, theatrical bow, the Phantom took a step back. Not in surrender, but in preparation. As the last chime faded, they leaped. Not down, but out, into the thick, swirling fog that had rolled in from the sea, swallowing the city. It was an impossible, gravity-defying act, a final piece of magic. Thorn rushed to the edge, peering into the white abyss. There was nothing. Just the silence after the bell and the distant muffled sounds of the city. Then he saw it. Caught on the edge of the clock hand, glinting in the faint light, was a single, elegant silver mask. Left behind, a souvenir, a promise. Thorn picked it up, its metal cool against his skin. He looked out over the sprawling, fog-shrouded metropolis. This wasn't an end, it was an invitation. The chase was far from over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter of the chase.